is infinite potential as to how you will express. In other words, the Spirit of God cannot create automatons. The Spirit of God placed everything within us for us to discover it for ourselves, to activate it and live it. Now, as we come to a wider understanding of that, we surrender not to a predestination, but we surrender to the potential within us being released that's beyond our imagination. It's wider than what we can imagine. There's something within us that wants to be totally set free. So, there's an age-old question about predestination and free will. I like to use the word choice. We start to have the capacity to choose rather than react to circumstance. And when you choose, when you have in other words, if there's a runaway, generally, I can have you up here, and I can seek to attack you. If you raise your consciousness, you can choose to remain at peace, whether I'm being violent towards you or not. You have that capacity to choose that expanded awareness. Within that expanded awareness, there are infinite possibilities of expression according to your unique pattern that's different from my unique pattern. Am I making sense? It's infinite, but it's according to my uniqueness, you see. So I can't be a center for the Lakers. It's not within my structure here. You know what I mean? But I can be successful in something else according to what this human structure here. Yes. Yes. I don't know if it was predetermined because I have choice. Once I expand my awareness, I come out of reacting to circumstances, and now I have choice. But what is choice? Choice is not reaction. If I'm choosing from a higher field. So I'm not going to throw the stuff. I'm not going to throw the thing at the dog. You see, I'm operating from choice, not reaction. You understand? I'm operating from choice. Choose ye this day whom you shall serve, God or mammon, God or fear. I'm operating from choice. I'm constantly choosing the higher vibration. Undifferentiated wholeness unfolding.
Where does that choice come from? The consciousness.
It comes directly as an impulse from the presence of God according to my unique pattern.
Okay.
You see? It's a spark of divinity.
Wouldn't all the assembly of atoms that created that were connected consciously to God had created, wouldn't that be
differentiated wholeness in a field of infinite potential? So when I become tapped into that, like that, it's infinite. It's infinite. We can't even imagine what infinite. The mind can't even imagine timelessness. What is timelessness? Let's just look at that for a second. If I say the word eternal, immaturely we think a long time, but it has nothing to do with time at all. If I say 2 + 2 is 4, it's not 4 for a long time, and then one day it becomes 5. It's just 2 + 2. It's eternal. You see, what is time? Time is the measurement of a distance between objects. Something I don't like, oh, it's lasted a long time, I hated that. Or something I really like, oh, that was too quick. But because we're one, there is no distance between you and I. And because I can transcend thought, time disappears. So time doesn't really exist. It's simply a mental construct that we've created to measure distance and experience. But it doesn't exist. The mind doesn't know what timelessness is. The mind doesn't know what eternal is. The mind doesn't know what infinite possibilities are. So at a higher level, your field opens up even more. It creates ways out of no ways. It doesn't even exist.
So we don't have free will, but we have choice based on our consciousness.
We have choice.
How high our consciousness is.
Yes. And you're participating in your own unfolding.
Okay.
Yes.
And
don't let me scare you by saying we don't have free will. You can pretend you have it for a while. I'll give you a little comfort. You know.
Okay. That makes sense. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Wow, it made sense to this gentleman. That's great. Yes. Live streamers, we feel you out there.
My name is Harshita. I'm from Delhi, India. I want to know your view on karma and karmic connections, because what I've personally experienced is that even though, well, no matter how much spiritual information I might have personally, but when it comes to karmic bonds and places where I'm stuck, I tend to lose the awareness completely at times. And I've seen similar, like they there must be people like totally aware otherwise in their life, but when it comes to karmic bonds or connections where they're actually stuck, they
What does
tend
stuck look like? What do you mean stuck?
um, means a emotion towards somebody arises, and that is coming out of unconsciousness or unawareness, but
So somebody comes into your field, there's a karmic bond, a remembrance of a past experience, of a
yes,
past life
yes, and the
that you have
pain
to
and
work
suffering
through.
continues there.
Yeah.
And
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter whether karmic bond or whether somebody you just met.
yeah,
You know, the same tools of transcendence, embracing and transcending through forgiveness are still there. So luck of them pushing your buttons, you still have the same capacity to transcend through embracing and forgiving. Doesn't matter, you know. Now, if we deal with karma itself, you know, karma is action. You basically experience the energy you're putting out. Karma, going back to destiny, cannot determine your destiny. Karma only determines starting points. Your destiny is determined by your attitude, and your attitude determines character. Character determines destiny. You see? Now, immaturely, people used to think, oh, I can't be successful in this lifetime because my karma. It was a cop-out. You know what I mean? And people actually would believe that some kind of karma imperative would determine whether they were successful or not. Poppycock, BS, belief system. No, it does not. Karma can only determine a starting point. But your destiny is determined by your character, and your character is determined by your attitude. You think independent of a circumstance, you change, it totally transforms karma. You are not a victim to any karmic pattern you've ever had in your life. You understand what I'm saying? You're here to be liberated and free, and this is what every master teacher has ever taught.
yes,
You understand?
yeah.
Be free,
Thank you.
you know? And realize when people are coming at you, in many cases, they may be pushing those buttons, but they probably didn't install them. They're there.
Yeah, there.
You clean
Yes,
them up.
exactly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Hey, we better stop for a while because we have to get out of here. So why don't we go through a process and see what comes up for you guys in terms of the vision for your life? How's about that? Unless there's a question that just has to, you know, just I'm not going to be able to sleep unless this question. But then again, listen, we got 2 more panels, and the last panel I'm on, I'm actually doing another keynote, and then we have a panel. So we're going to be together for a while or not. Your choice. Everyone, take everything out of your lap and put your feet on the ground. Are you enjoying this so far? You getting this? Okay. We try to cram a lot in a very short period of time. Don't cross anything. Don't cross your arms, your legs, your eyes. Just. Let's put our hands in our lap facing upward as a sign of receptivity. And just bring your shoulders to your ears. Just clutch everything together and become so tense. Even your face, everything is tense. Then release the sound of ah. And just let the body relax. And we're going to give ourselves permission, first of all, before we do this vision process, to get a real sense that we are immersed in a field of love, safety, generosity of the Spirit. So if you'll be so kind to yourself and just think about any moment in your life where you actually felt totally loved, unconditionally. Could be from a grandparent, a friend, an associate, word, or it could have been in a moment in which you weren't doing that well, but they just loved you. Just remember that love. Feel into that love. If you can't remember such a moment, just use your imagination. What would it feel like to just be loved for no reason? To be accepted for no reason? What does that feel like? Now I want you to take an inhalation, release. Take another inhalation, hold it at the apex, just suspend the breath right there. Take a little bit more air in. And when you hear me snap my finger, multiply this feeling times 10 and release with the sound of ah. So the feeling tone of love is what you're living and moving and having your beingness in. You're safe. Now the universal presence through law answers any question that you ask. And so we simply ask in our own way, and I'll ask it a couple of ways. What is it that is seeking to emerge in my life right now? Just ask the question inside. Or, what is my next step in my unfoldment? What is my next step in my unfoldment? What is God's vision of itself as my life? So we can ask, what's trying to emerge right now? What's my next step? What's the vision that God sees for itself as my life? And now we listen with our heart. We listen with the ear that's beyond. And perhaps there's a felt a sense, an intuitive hit. For some, a vision. For some, a sound. For some, a sign. Everyone catches vision differently. What is the next step in your unfolding? What's trying to emerge? What idea of your being is available right now? You're setting something in motion with this question. It may be a knowing. It may be a little sign, a little intuitive hit. But you're asking the question and it's delivering, it's bringing that answer to you because you've asked. That asking made you receptive. Now you have what is called simultaneous awareness, which means you can embrace what's flowing based on your question, and we could also ask another question at the same time. And so as you're making yourself available to your next step and what's seeking to emerge through you, simply ask, what is it that I must become in order to manifest the vision I'm beginning to catch? In other words, what is my growing edge? Where must I grow in order to manifest judgment and no censorship? Just, what's my growing edge? What must I become more of now? You listen. So there's a couple of strands operating. You've made yourself receptive to guidance around your vision for your life, perhaps your livelihood, your next step. And you made yourself available to where you must grow in order for this to manifest, because we cannot have what we're not willing to become in consciousness. There must be a vibrational match. Where must I grow? What must I become? Listen. So you might be beginning to feel something pulling you, some great destiny, some expression of your giftedness, your talent, your capacity, the vision for your life, the presence of God knowing itself as your life. You might be pulled towards your certain level of expression and livelihood, a path that you are to take that's uniquely for you, designed for you based on who you are as unique expression of infinite potential. And you're catching where you must grow in order for this to happen. What must you cultivate? What must you cultivate out of yourself? Ask, what do I already have that can be in service to the vision that's trying to manifest? What resources do I already have in my life? What gifts, what talents, what capacities can be in service to the vision that's trying to emerge? Remember the law. To he or she who has, more is given. She or he who has not, even that which they have shall be taken away. So we're always seeking to operate from the being and having consciousness. What do you already have that you might be taking for granted in your life that can be in service to the vision? What do you have? Let it emerge in your awareness now. That is your consciousness. Be taken up. What do you have? What gifts? What resources? Remember, you're in a field of love, safe and secure. You've asked the question, what is God's idea of itself as my life? What's trying to emerge through me now? What's the next step in my unfolding? What must I become? Where must I grow for this to happen? It that no longer serves me that I can now let go of in my life. What doesn't serve me anymore, what may have served me in the past, may have helped me cope in the past, may have been an asset in the past, but today it doesn't serve me anymore. It's just habit. What can I now let go of? Habits, perceptions, conversations, priorities, without judgment. This is not a judgment exercise. It's an awareness exercise. What no longer serves me? And so we go back to the beginning, the vision. What are we catching? What intuitive hits are we getting? What must I become? Where must I grow? What do I have already that can be in service to the vision? what no longer serves me anymore. I've carried it for so long, this habit, these conversations. What doesn't serve me that I'm now willing to let go? And you take all of that, we bring it into a field of willingness. We become willing to embrace a higher vision for our life. We become willing to become what's necessary. We become willing to absolutely embrace what we have and be grateful for it. We become willing to let go with that which doesn't serve us. Remember this, where there's willingness, there's a way. When there's willfulness, there's a wall. When there's willfulness, there's a vibrational wall. When there's willingness, there's a consciousness of love. I want you to feel the consciousness of willingness. Just think of a moment in your life where perhaps you didn't know exactly how to do something, but your willingness, you engaged willingness, and willingness pulled you into right action. You took the right steps. Then you met the right people. The right resources showed up. And things unfolded, and out of nothing, something emerged because of your willingness. Feel the frequency of willingness right now. Remember willingness. Take a deep inhalation. Sound of ah, release. Ah, let willingness be magnified. And so it is in this consciousness of divine willingness that I have the privilege and the honor to set something in motion for each and every individual here, to activate something, to speak the word for every being here, knowing that where they are, God is in God's fullness. I speak the word for the unleashing of the power and the poise, the confidence, the giftedness of their being, and that anything heretofore that would have blocked it has no power here because there's only one, and that something is being set free in these beings right now. Something is being activated, that even as they sleep tonight, they're visited by the answer that they've asked for. Even throughout the course of their day, it dawns upon their consciousness as insight and revelation because they've asked the right question, and anything that would deny this is dissolved back into the native nothingness from which it has come never to exist. Intentional, with purpose. I see it, and I give thanks for it. And so it is. Amen. Feel into the vision. Slowly open your eyes and just catch anything around vision, anything around becoming, anything around having, anything around letting go. If you want to take a second, if you have a piece of paper, just write down any keywords regarding this. You don't have to write the whole thing, just a keyword that spikes your memory when you need it. And then be aware when you do this process, sometimes in the process, it may not appear that you're catching anything, but because you've asked the question, monkeys will come. Because you've asked the question, it'll dawn on you in a moment you think not. An idea will come. Guidance will come. It'll come in a dream. It'll come. And if you come back to the process, you'll keep enlivening your receptivity. Now, as you're writing down whatever it is to spike your memory, does anyone want to share anything that came to them with the time we have left? Yes. Please stand. The microphone will find her. Where's the mic? We're keeping her in shape with the microphone. Here it comes. So just state your first name and what emerged. Here it comes right now. Right there. She's right there. Hey, Jenny.
And I'm originally from London. My mum's from Italy, and I now live in Goa. My vision is to open a holistic healing. Yeah. My vision is to open a holistic healing detox center in Goa. inspired by Tommy Rosen and all the lovely people that he's collected together.
Yes. Did you
It's
see that when you asked the question?
Yeah, yeah.
That's what you saw it.
No. This is it. But what I saw was what's blocking my vision.
Okay. You saw what you must become yourself.
Yeah, what I must become.
Yes.
I just brought tears to my eyes to see that I have everything that I need to fulfill this vision. And what is blocking me is not the fear of failure, but the fear of success.
Yes.
Because it's actually so much hard work to be this vehicle, to be this light. And everything that I thought that, everything that I've heard so far in this festival, I'm in complete rhythm with everything you've said, with everything that Tommy said, with everything that Dr. Alejandra said. Everything is like what I'm thinking. I feel like, 100% there, yet it's like, why am I not? And I just realized, just in this visualization, it's like, because it's hard work when you actually are, this vehicle of light, when you actually are connected. It's easier sometimes to be stuck in your same old pattern.
Yes.
Does that make sense?
Yes, of course.
So it just like this big block is like, oh wow, okay. So you have a choice, and using courage, wisdom, and compassion, I know that I will achieve this goal.
Yes.
Because the mission is too big. I've got, I know my destiny. It's like when you said that fourth stage, it's like I've had a glimpse of why I've been brought to this planet.
Yes.
And it is to help others through what I've lived through and the teachings that I've learned, through the wisdom and through the school of hard knocks, like what Tommy said before. I've been through
Absolutely.
both of them. So, nothing else matters. This is my mission, and I do want to fulfill it. And,
Right. So you can feel it right now,
I
right?
can really feel it.
Yeah, everyone look at her. Just look at her. Just give a 10-second description of your vision as they're all listening and loving you right now.
I just want to create a space where people can come. So it's not like a rehab. It's not a yoga school. It's something like come and find yourself. It's like detox your body from anything, any addictions, any stress, any medications. So you're just come and find yourself.
Come and find you to feel the love in the room. It's people supporting you.
Yeah.
Because you said it's not just a fear of failure, it's a fear of success.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are afraid of success. They're afraid of having to break out of their old paradigm.
Yeah.
And as you move forward, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't. Or blessed if you do, blessed if you don't. Because people, just general people, they'll talk about you if you succeed, and they'll talk about you if you fail. So you might as well let them talk about you succeed.
True.
Okay.
Yeah, and I've come too far to fail now.
Yes.
So
Step into it.
Years of study, and I want it to be like a community project. For me, it's not about me being successful or me being in the spotlight. I want everyone to come together who's got skills to come and make this project a reality, because the world needs this.
Yes.
There's a lot of people that need help.
And that's your destiny.
Yeah, and India is somewhere where it's affordable. If someone wants to go to rehab, it's £30,000 a month, or the detox.
That's not. You don't have to get into the details.
Yeah, So
the universe is going to carry that for you.
Affordable for people, and that's what I will do.
Write it down.
I'm saying it here. I promise you, we'll speak this time.
We'll meet you here next week to see next year to see the progress.
Thank you.
Thank you. God bless you. Let's do a couple of more before we have to exit the room. We have two people in the front row right here. Anybody? Did you get your thing? You got it? Okay, we're going to come back to you. Go right ahead.
So I'm currently pursuing my doctorate in quantum medicine, but when the vision came, it wasn't in the present. I had no awareness of pursuing it. It was like I've done it, and I'm standing on the stage, and I saw thousands of people, and their lives are being transformed because they're really understanding and really getting the power of the quantum medicine, and they're self-healing themselves, and they are really empowered to transform themselves and the planet.
You saw it.
Yeah.
You felt
and
it.
It was right there in
Okay.
present.
So that's good. That's your vision. It's pulling you now.
Yeah.
It's pulling you to be that.
Yeah.
So your future self is talking to you.
Yes.
And it's going to give you touchstones along the way and steps you need to take for that. Did you see what you must become?
Yes.
You got it?
Yeah.
Okay, good.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Beautiful. Very good.